Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you all been well. Before we kick off here in the video, I'd like to ask you guys do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like this content or appreciate the message. Go ahead and subscribe. Click the like button, notification bell, and maybe there's somebody in your life you can forward it to, a friend or family member that may appreciate some of the content that we're putting out here. A little bit later here in the evening, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity. So tonight's video is going to be Trump's scorecard. So this is January 20th. This will be the 5th anniversary, I guess, or the end of his 5th year in office. First year of Trump 2.0. So thought it'd be a good chance to reflect on, many of the things. It's no surprise I might think are going well, but I've also got a few that I'd like to comment on that, maybe not so much. So I'm back in this chair. I think I made the comment the last video that if you see me in this chair, then, you're fixing to get my viewpoints and my opinions on something. Okay. So if that doesn't interest you, then, hopefully you'll just fast forward to the end of the video to where we talk about scripture, the most important part of every video. And I've got a really neat piece picked out tonight. Every once in a while, if you're a believer, Christian, you just get a feeling sometimes like, I think the Lord's trying to talk to me, and it's just something that's just too much of a coincidence, or something happens that just strikes you. And today it happened to me. So at the end of my political commentary, then I'm going to go into that, and it'll be a pretty neat piece of scripture, and hope it'll help you. Okay, so I've made a few notes. I want to have some structure here. You don't just hear me bloviate endlessly. I'll have to look at this piece of paper, and I think I'm going to end up having to get glasses all the time because I can't read anything without them. So I'll probably take them on and off. I know it's annoying. Okay, so we'll go Trump scorecard. First thing, border. So I don't know how you give him anything other than an A+ for the border, right? So, I can't even believe he shut it down as quick as they shut it down. And they shut it down, right? So, I don't know. I'm going to say 99% reduction. I know he likes to tout that 0 people are getting through. I don't know if it's 0, but it's probably pretty darn close. So, close enough for me. And I think that's critical, man. That had to be like step 1, because we cannot maintain a country with no border. There's no country that can exist without a border, much less the number 1 economic draw in the world. And, I'm sorry that people live in places that suck, okay? Sorry. You need to work harder at sucking less, okay? And I know people, some of them can't help it, blah, 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 but still, those cultures need to improve. And we can take some of them in, and nobody's against that. I haven't heard anybody that's against legal immigration. And I think we take over 1 million a year just legally, through different programs. And that's enough. That's enough. There has to be limits. It's not just openness like spending and other things in your life. You can't just do whatever you want. There has to be some guardrails. So anyway, I don't want to keep going on too long about any one of these individual ones, but A+ on the border, we need to shut that thing down and control it. Okay, number 2 now is connected, is deportation. So, deportations, I give him a B+. Why do I not give him an A+? Because we need to do a lot more. We need to do a lot more of it. I don't care if we double the size of ICE. I'd much rather my tax money go to getting these criminals out of here. And I've heard it all. Oh, it's not just the criminals. He's going after innocent people, and Americans are not being arrested. If an American's being arrested by ICE, it's because they're acting a fool and they're out there assaulting the vehicles or assaulting the people. And for those people, Darn right. Lock them up. Put cuffs on them. Get them out of here. Nobody's being deported that's a citizen. That's just stupid. It's just outright lies that are being told just because they can't stand the man, you know. So anyway, yeah, do some non-criminal. But I mean, if you're here illegally, you're already a criminal. And I don't want to hear it's not a crime to be illegally in the country. Come on. So anyway, B plus only because we need a lot more of it. They're doing a good job. They're pushing hard. Tom Homan, he's a saint. Love that story this week where they showed Obama putting a medal around Tom Homan's neck for just how of an outstanding job he was doing deporting aliens. And now here we are later, he's the devil. Yeah, these people have lost their mind. Okay, number 3, tax cuts. I give tax cuts an A plus, right? So propaganda. Oh, it's just the tax cuts for the rich and bull crap. 2017, those tax cuts helped everybody. Everybody that pays taxes was helped by those tax cuts. Beautiful. So this makes those permanent. I mean, nothing's permanent, but you know. Anyway, these next 3 years, we don't have to worry about it. But then you've got no tax on Social Security. Do you know how huge that is for people drawing Social Security? No tax on Social Security. And people are against it. No tax on tips. Big deal for some people. No tax on overtime. I mean, those are huge tax breaks for all Americans, okay? So, I mean, people don't get the news, man. They get propaganda. So there's people walking around believing the crap that they're telling. That's why people like me, that's why I'm speaking out. You know, everybody needs to speak out. Okay, what else? Tariffs. I don't know. Tariffs is a tough one for me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not an economics major, even if you were. I mean, tariffs is totally complex. What we do know at this point is that it's not going to collapse the economy and we're going to go into a recession automatically. That did not happen, okay? So I think at a macro level, it's a smart strategy. The issue is there's a lot of industries, and I work in one of them, that is getting hurt big time in the short term, okay? We're getting hurt. Now, long-term gain, short-term pain for long-term gain. I get it. We've let manufacturing and too much leave this country, and this is the pain to put on companies to bring it back, okay? The problem is that's not a quick solution. So my fear is that we go through the short-term pain. Yeah, we might bring in a bunch of money, and that may help at some level, but there's some industries that I don't know that we'll ever see the long-term gain just because Trump's not going to be president forever, you know. And the people that follow behind him, they need to support that same strategy, or we may not get to the finish line of getting these jobs back here. So I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. I give them maybe a B minus, just because I'm not quite sure. Reducing scope of government, I give them an A on that. The only reason I'll give them an A plus because you could never do enough of that. This government is bloated. It's waste. It's a boat anchor, and it's just ridiculous the size of this damn government. You know, Elon in the beginning, valiant effort, exposed a lot of fraud. You would have never thought in your life that you would hear, I'll say half the country just because we're split pretty much 50-50 on most topics, but a large portion of the country fighting against somebody that finds fraud of our tax money that we make and pay to the government. And it's being, keep the language good here, it's being wasted, okay? On just, I'm not even going to go in. We all heard the programs. I'm not even going to go into them. They're disgusting. But just who would have thought that you would villainize a guy like Elon and burn down dealerships and attack his cars and all that kind of stuff because this guy's trying to cut out waste in government? Come on, man. Another good thing is just the job market right under under Biden. The statistics are 1 out of 4 jobs, 1 out of 4, 25% of jobs created under Biden were government jobs. Those are not jobs that are created for me, I think it ought to work. If you create one government job, that ought to take, I don't know, 10 or 20 out of the statistics, because that's not really a job, okay? We're having to pay those people. That's more of a tax burden. So anyway, 25% under Biden. Under Trump, 0. Okay, so 100% of the job growth. And I think we had 5% growth last month. Unbelievable numbers, yeah? All private sector. That's what we need to stimulate the economy. Private sector, not government. All right, what else here? Keep it rolling. Social Security reform. I mean, I read that 275,000 illegal aliens were removed from Social Security benefits. 275,000 illegal aliens removed from Social Security benefits. You don't know how life's going to go. I don't know if I need to work 10 more years, 15 more years. Who knows if I'll retire? Don't know. You don't know what life's going to give you. I may never see a penny of Social Security. I'm not counting on it, because you can't trust our politicians, any of them, hardly. Very few. But neither party to be responsible with money. They both waste money. And they've wasted all of our Social Security funds. Anyway. Good job at least getting them off of there. Iranian nuclear site bombing that. That's got to be an A+, right? How would that be bad for us? You know, and it's going to be World War III and blah, blah, blah. And I got to give it to you. I mean, that took some real courage, intestinal fortitude to make that call. You know, it's easy to sit back, and I'm glad they did it. And I was supporting doing it before they did it. But man, what an operation, precision, our military, so impressive, how good they are when they have leaders that can plan and are strategic. There's almost nothing we can't do, okay? As opposed to Afghanistan withdrawal in that debacle, which is, I won't get into that because I'll never get off of it. But anyway, Iran, good job there after Israel pounded the snot out of them for 12 days, and then we came in with the hammer. Loved it. All right, fighting woke. I put that in the whole category, fighting woke. It's upsetting. We need to talk about this stuff, so I'm not trying to avoid it, but it's just Trump and the administration just fighting, pushing back so hard. No men and girls sports. Man, that's such a difficult topic, isn't it? I mean, that's just, that's so hard to get behind. Yeah, let's debate that until the end of time, okay? Who would have ever thought that there would be anybody that would support men in female sports? It's insane. It's evil, okay? So let's all push back on that. We need to give that no safe harbor at all. None, zero. Some things are not up for debate. They're not up for discussion. That's one of them, okay? Gender clarity. 2 genders, 2. Some things are just a fact. That's a fact. 2 genders. You call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. I don't care. Do what you want to do with your body parts. I don't care. It's your business. I'm not trying to stop you from doing what you want to do, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, right? But I'm not going to participate in this fantasy and this delusion and psychosis of more than 2 genders and not knowing what they are and the fact that you can change them. It's just, don't ask me to do that. It's not happening. What else on that one? Yeah, that's enough. EV mandate. So this gets into an industry that I work in, actually. So, that EV mandate, it just, anytime you mandate what companies have to create based on some ideology just to push an agenda, and it's not connected with what customers want, it's a problem. So every automaker has invested billions and billions and billions of dollars into the EV mandate situation. And, thank God he killed the mandate, because it's bankrupting people. I mean, it's bankrupting companies. So it's just so much investment in the customer base stagnant at best, and it's so small. And Tesla owns the EV market 60-some%, and everybody's fighting for a really small piece. And the people just aren't out there. The infrastructure's not out there. Charging stations aren't out there. The electrical grid's not ready for that type of push. So again, it's back to ideology, lack of strategy, just people that are not smart and are driven by ideology that are going to take us all down if we don't challenge them and force some common sense. Okay, so anyway, thank you for killing that mandate. Now we can focus on building products that the people want, investing money in what people want. There's ways that we can be safe. Of course, we got a million laws on environment and safety. We can do it. But the key is, what do the people want? And if the people want EVs, then fine. Then let's invest in it and make it successful. I'm not against it. Talk against it. You're a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther. Yeah, we need to do what the customers want. All right, and then we got a bunch of other ones I'm not going to get into just so this doesn't drag on too long. But deregulation, Department of Education, need to do something there. Okay, you want to talk about a cesspool. And I know there's good teachers out there. I understand that. Okay, yeah, there's good teachers out there, but the only correlation between money and education is that we spend more per child than any other country, and we suck, okay? It's just it. There's no use in sugarcoating it. We're terrible across the country. Some areas better than others. But reading, writing, arithmetic, basic skills, we don't have them. We're on such a low level, we're not even close to being, I don't even know that we're in the top 25. I don't believe we are, but I don't want to say it wrong, but we're down there, man. So anyway, the more money we spend, the worse we get. And it's just all an agenda again, and ideology, and a certain group of people that are opposed to it. We just need to stop dumping money into it. I'm a big fan of let the states control, let the states run it, get it out of the federal government. There's nothing anybody in D.C. is going to do to help your child have a better education. It ain't happening. All right. Now, those are some of the things that I thought went pretty well, but there are some things that I think I'd like to see a lot more activity, and some things that I'm just not sure about. I only wrote down a few. I'm not going to go too long on this. Accountability. I'm looking for accountability, okay? I'm looking for accountability. People that have weaponized government, people that have falsified documents, people that have leaked national secrets and top secret information, people that are obstructing federal law enforcement, people that are assaulting federal law enforcement or local law enforcement, any type of law enforcement, people that are violating federal rights of religion, okay? Religious persecution. We just saw it this weekend, okay? Don Lemon and that group of terrorists that went into that church and shouted those people down and scared those children in a place of worship, that's against federal law. 10 years, $250,000. Arrest them all. Why are they not being arrested? Pam Bondi, why are they not being arrested? I understand you need to have evidence, blah, blah. There's video evidence. It's clear. Where it's clear, please act. Without accountability, aside from, I've talked about it before, but aside from a completely corrupt media and dishonest and corrupt politicians, between those two categories of people, the third category that's going to get us in this country to crash and burn maybe is lack of accountability. So even though we're exposing these people, and it feels good, okay? It feels good to expose these people that are doing these things, but exposure is only part one. There needs to be accountability. These people need to be arrested. There needs to be penalties, or it's never going to stop. It's just going to keep going, right? So the feel-good part, the first feel-good part is, okay, there's adults in the room, and we're pointing out things that are going wrong, but now we have to have the accountability. Okay, it's been a year. Nobody accountable. I want to see it. Okay? These dirty politicians and lawmakers and people in government that have just been violating these laws. We got to do something about it. So anyway, got to be some accountability. Qatar. We're a little too friendly with Qatar for me. You know what I mean? Just a little bit playing footsie with Qatar. I don't understand it, you know. Not everything's about money. So this is something where Trump's making me uncomfortable, okay? I like working on the Middle East, okay? We should try and bring peace to the region as much as possible, which good luck on that. And it's because they're in a religious war, period. It's a religious war. It is what it is. And no amount of money or donations to colleges or whatever, for me, it can't pay the debt for things that have been done in the past. And I'm not talking about a long time ago. I'm talking about recent, right? So Qatar is not clean as far as some of the funding, where their money goes and support of certain organizations. I'm still pissed off about Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, right? KSM, okay? When we made the phone call giving a heads up that we're getting ready to snatch him, and they assisted sending this guy out of there, okay? That's not okay for me. I don't know why it's okay for anybody. Nobody talks about it. Very few. But I don't know. I'm just not so comfortable. And now I hear Qatar is going to get a training site in one of our air bases in Idaho. They're going to have a training facility on that site. When have we ever done that? Why are we doing that? Why would we want to train a Middle Eastern company in anything military related? Why? I don't know. China and their land grabs, you know, and where they own real estate. I'd like to see that addressed. You know, perfect opportunity for that was during COVID, to be honest. When they released that hell and that scourge across all the world, they never had any accountability for that. Accountability again, none. Zero. They got away with the whole thing. You know, at best, it was a leak out of a lab that they've still never taken ownership of. Killed millions of people around the world, destroyed economies, changed our culture, okay? They didn't pay for that. That moment, if I was president, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'd have snatched back everything I own here. You don't own it anymore. Out. You don't own this land anymore. Take it away. We got to find some way to deal with that, because it's a little bit scary, these reports of where this land's at. And you don't see enough stories about it. Iran, I'd like to see more done about Iran. Okay, I think 16,500 people I read yesterday were killed. I didn't read it today. I'm not up on it every day. I try and stay connected just so I can speak somewhat educated on these topics. But again, just a red-blooded American giving you my take. But Iran, I'd like to see them go. Okay, those people are good people. They want freedom. They voted for freedom. They don't have freedom. And it's not okay to kill 16,500 innocent people. It's just not okay. So there's a lot of things we can do short of putting massive boots on the ground. We know what to do to these people. And then religious persecution, I talked about that. You know what I mean? And it's just that's got to be snuffed out immediately, okay? It's gone on too long. The Jews for the past couple of years have been persecuted big time. I mean, the anti-Semitism in the world and in this country, I don't even know the word to use for it. It should not be allowed to exist, period. We need to do more to stop it. And now we see other churches being stormed into and people being persecuted. That is a non-starter, okay? Some things are just black and white, and they can't be tolerated. And we need to put our foot down. And there's a lot of talk, but we need to see more action. So, okay. That's enough for me bloviating on politics. Okay, let's get into the most important part of the video. And maybe some of you did want to hear that. Hopefully you fast forwarded to this part. But, you know, I've just been reflecting on Trump and the completion of his 5th year in office and talking about him as a leader. And obviously, I think he's a good leader. He's a strong leader. Even if you hate the man, you got to admit he's a strong leader. But there's one leader, only one, okay? Only one true leader, and that's the Lord, okay? That's the leader. And we need to do a better job, each one of us, every day of following him. And if we did, we'd be a lot better off. But what I talked about earlier is sometimes you feel like the Lord is talking directly to you. So try and make this quick. This morning I wake up and I get up, make coffee, let dogs out, normal routine in the morning, and I sit down and I try and look at a little bit of scripture, and I'm guilty like everybody else. I pull that cell phone out and I scroll through the crap on there. But at least the good part of me scrolling through my Facebook is, I don't know what percentage, but the majority of my feed is, as I'm focused so strongly on my faith and trying to be better every day, I get a lot of scripture quotes come through there. And this morning I only looked at one. I looked at the phone real quick, and this one popped up, and I looked at it for a second, and I thought, man, boy, I like that. So what I do sometimes is when I don't have time or I'm getting ready to get a shower or head out the door, I'll go ahead and I took a screenshot of it, and I said, okay, I'll be able to focus on that later. I want to come back to that. I want to read it and think about it, and get my Bible out and go through a little bit before and after and understand it. And so I was excited about that, and I look forward to it at the end of the day, doing that in the evening. So today's Tuesday, and on Tuesdays I try and go every Tuesday. I belong to a men's group, Christian men's small group, and we get together on Tuesday at 4:30. So it's usually half a dozen of us to maybe up to 12, 14 sometimes, just depending on people's schedule. But Tuesday at 4:30 we meet at a local restaurant, and we just have fellowship. And Mark, our leader of the group, he comes and he's got a piece of scripture and prepared that we can read and discuss what does it mean, and talk about our lives and just support each other. And I really look forward to that. It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the best parts of my life, to be honest. And it's helped me a lot in these last 6 or 7 months get out of a tough period. And anyway, really look forward to that meeting. But these last couple months, I've just had conflicts. It's either family in town, or a lot of times I can't get out of work and be there at 4:30, so I miss. I think I was sick once or twice, whatever. So it just, for months, I never missed. And then these past couple months, I've only gone once in like 2 months. So today I was excited because the schedule, I looked at it and I said, man, I can get out of here, I think, by 4:30 today and meet these guys. So anyway, 4:30 came, and I headed over there a few minutes late, and I walked in. There was 4 of them, so 5 of us, and it was a small group tonight. But Mark made mention of, hey guys, I've been leading this group for quite a while, and I can keep feeding you fish, but if I teach you to fish, then you can feed yourself, along that parable. And the point being is that he wants to help coach us and give us some more responsibility, and then we can own a piece of scripture each week, and we can plan it, and we can present it to the group and help us grow in our faith and being able to preach, in some form to our family and friends and spread the word. So that's kind of exciting because of the journey, like what I'm trying to do now. This is me out of my comfort zone. So anyway, he said, I got a piece of scripture and I want to go over tonight. And he said, it's Proverbs 3, 1-8. And he said, we're going to read this several times, and we're going to, and we all opened up our Bibles, right? So I flip open to the Bible and I get to it. And I look at it. I put my glasses on because I'm blind as a bat. And I look at it. And he's getting ready to start reading. And he starts to read. And I'm like, hold on a minute. And I said, man, you ain't going to believe this. I said, I'm about to blow your mind. So I pulled my phone out from this morning. And I went to the photos. And I walked over next to him. And I'd already had several photos from today. And I scrolled back. And there it is. That exact scripture. Proverbs 3, 1-8. The same one I saw this morning is the same exact one that he came. And the whole intent was to see, what is God telling us in this scripture. Unbelievable. So I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to tell you what I think God was saying to me. Let's read it. And I'll try and read it kind of quick because it's a little long. Proverbs 3, 1-8. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. I mean, that hit me like a hammer, okay? And Mark asked all of us, what does it mean? And I told him, I said, hey, for me, God is telling me that I'm on the right path, okay? I'm not there yet, and I may never get there fully. But I'm on the path, and I'm moving with the Lord in the Word. And that's what that message was saying, trust in my teachings. Accept my leadership. Have it in your heart. Don't rely on your own thinking. And if you follow the Word and you're in the Word and you follow His teachings, and if you follow Him as a leader, you'll have good favor with God and with man. And it'll bring you good health and prosperity. Amazing, amazing message to me today. So hopefully the message was good for you too. So I really appreciate you guys checking out this video and watching my videos. I enjoy making them. And if you guys keep watching them, as long as it grows, then I'll keep making them. So God bless all of you, and I'll see you next time.